Hi, I'm Carol Andrews for another episode of Southwest TV News. Here are some of the stories coming up on today's show. Effective immediately, Saskatchewan has now joined Alberta and Manitoba with a photo radar system targeting speeders in highway construction zones. Unexpected accidents can occur at any moment, as seen in the recent incident involving a rail line and a deadly explosion in Quebec. As many communities across Canada, a rail line runs through the city of Swift Current, with hundreds of cars passing through on a daily basis. Speedy Creek Racing has become a summer tradition, with race fans packing the stands for another big race day in Swift Current. Thanks for joining us here today. Well, if you have a lead foot and you choose to speed through any orange zone across Saskatchewan, you'll be faced with a hefty fine. Effective immediately, Saskatchewan has now joined Alberta and Manitoba with a photo radar system targeting speeders in highway construction zones. A move which is intended to force drivers to slow down and save lives in the orange zone.
We had a flag person, Ashley Richards, who was unfortunately struck by a car and killed by a speeding driver in a work zone last year. And so several of the things that we've brought forward includes new simplified signage. We have rumble strips in certain work zones. And we gave our transport patrol officers the ability to give out tickets in the work zone, and the latest is photo radar.
Tickets for speeding through the highway construction zone will now start at $210, up from the previous fine of $140, and will increase between $2 and $4 for every kilometer over the speed limit. An increase in fees and the mere fact of knowing you'll be caught on film if you do speed is meant to deter motorists from breaking the law in highway construction areas.
We're not looking to make money out of this. If we don't make a single dime off drivers speeding through work zones, then we've done our job.
Over the past year, the province has worked closely with SGI, the RCMP, and the Saskatchewan Heavy Construction Association and other partners to improve safety in work zones. According to Stats Canada, Saskatchewan's merchandise exports increased by $724 million in the first 4 months of 2013, as compared to the previous year. This data shows the greatest increase in production amongst all provinces. With this increase in numbers comes the need for more routes of transportation to export Saskatchewan's products. One of the province's main export partners is the U.S., but with limited routes into the country, the need for a Western trade corridor increases. A group in the U.S. dedicated to creating a trade corridor from Mexico to Canada is the Ports to Plains Alliance. This is a non-profit, community-driven advocacy group dedicated to promoting economic security throughout North America's energy and agricultural heartland. Joe Keeley is the Vice President of Operations and explains the need for the trade corridor into Canada.
Saskatchewan is exporting about $1.9 billion to the 10 U.S. states in the Ports to Plains corridor, including Mexico. That compares to China at about 1.7 for its entire exports. So we're a larger export market than the next largest country that Saskatchewan exports to.
In order to continue to export these products efficiently, quicker routes must be available. The number 4 highway would be part of the Ports to Plains trade corridor, but there are some local issues that must be addressed before this project can become possible from a Canadian standpoint. First, our border crossing into the U.S. must be a 24-hour operation, as opposed to its current 13-hour format. Secondly, there is an 80-kilometer stretch of highway near the Cadillac area that is not primary weight to support transport trucks. Swift Current City Councillor Ryan Plewis has been working closely on this project and describes the logistics that are involved in a trade corridor.
The context of what we're talking about with the number 4 highway, we're obviously talking about truck traffic. A trade corridor, though, is more than that. It's more than just the infrastructure. It's hotels, it's service stations, it's whether it's tire shops or whatever. It's everything that supports infrastructure and trade. In this case, again, north to south.
Another stakeholder involved in the project is Community Futures Southwest. Playing a pivotal role since the project's inception in 2009, Community Futures Southwest has rallied politicians, communities, businesses, and organizations as supporting partners. General Manager John Parker explains how the provincial and federal governments play a factor in the outcome of the project and why this could affect Saskatchewan for years to come.
Because we're dealing with two separate factors. I mean, when you talk about a 24-hour commercial port, you're talking federal, and that's a federal jurisdiction. And you're talking the highway improvements, it's a provincial entity. We are in a boom economy and a growing economy, and I think that it's important we recognize that we have to spend money in that kind of an environment in order to make sure we are capitalizing on all of the assets to grow the economy in the whole province, not just the Southwest.
Thanks to Community Futures Southwest, the Ports to Plains Alliance, and the support of communities across the region, improvements to the No. 4 highway and the possibility of a 24-hour border are becoming a reality. Saskatchewan's economy is booming, and projects such as the No. 4 highway corridor will assist in keeping the positive momentum into the future. Southwest TV News is hitting the road with our annual Summer Around the Southwest tour, covering a variety of exciting events across the region. The Southwest TV News Summer Around the Southwest tour is proudly brought to you by Innovation Credit Union. Imagine the possibilities. Another exciting season of Market Square returns to downtown Swift Current, featuring live entertainment, fresh garden produce, crafts, and other unique vendors. Market Square, every Saturday at the corner of Central and Chaplin. Presented by Standard Motors, in partnership with Innovation Credit Union and Southwest TV News. The recent railway accident in Quebec has brought community safety into the spotlight. In this report, we take a closer look at Swift Current's emergency plan. Unexpected accidents can occur at any moment, as seen in the recent incident involving a rail line and a deadly explosion in Quebec. As many communities across Canada, a rail line runs through the city of Swift Current, with hundreds of cars passing through on a daily basis. Dennis Pilon is the fire chief for the city of Swift Current, and indicates measures are already in place through local disaster planning and ongoing discussions with CPR officials in case an accident ever occurs.
That's right. You know, in a smaller center, they're not stopping. They're going straight through. They're also there's issues of manning and who's there to take care of the train and so on, which is part of the problem in Lac-Mégantic. Here in Swift Current, we've got crews that are working in the yards 24/7. There's always somebody around. If we had an incident with a train, we would be dealing with their staff. They know how to run the trains. They would take over. They would run the train. We would fight any fires that were available, but they would manage the train end of things.
Pilon further adds that luckily to date, Swift Current has never had to deal with a train disaster, even though the daily carloads of freight carry a variety of chemicals and other items.
Things like chlorine and the oils and stuff like that are coming through, containers of gas, anhydrous ammonia, stuff like that. It's being transported safely. It's being transported according to the law and the rules for rail safety. The other thing that we have to be aware of in Swift Current is that although we have a lot of trains coming through here, they are slowing down and they are stopping, they are speeding up. Our biggest risk is accidents with vehicles trying to beat the train across the track. So, if the arms are coming down, the lights are flashing, you need to stop because you won't win a battle with the train.
And along with the fire department's ongoing training for various accidents or other disaster scenarios, the general public should also consider what to do in case of an emergency.
Have your 72-hour kit so that you can get out of town or get out of the area when you have to. If we have to evacuate you at least move on and get out of the way. A lot of times you have to take care of yourself, and I've said that over and over again. That 72 hours you got to be prepared to take care of yourself.
Further details on emergency planning and community initiatives can be addressed through your local municipality. W.W. Smith Insurance has reached a milestone as it celebrates its centennial. Having served Southwest Saskatchewan for the past 100 years, W.W. Smith Insurance is your motor license issuer, while specializing in all of your personal and commercial needs, including home, auto, agro, business, and life insurance. W.W. Smith Insurance, independently owned and operated since 1913.
Our company helps tell your story and provides you with a solution on how to market your business. Because making a great video is only half the equation. You have to know how to use it.
We have done a major.
Another season of Speedy Creek Racing is well underway, and fans were recently treated to another exciting day at the track.
The annual Fan Appreciation Day spotlighted another afternoon of exciting Speedy Creek Racing. The event kicked off with a special national anthem display as the drivers rode around the track waving their Canadian flags. Next, it was time to see the main attractions as racers from the trucks, hobbies, and street categories made their way around the track as fast as they could. Joanne Schultz, a former racer, explains what attracts people to the sport.
I think it's the adrenaline. You know, even sitting in the seats, you've got your favorites that you're going to cheer for and cheer them on. You know, if you can get somebody in a car, they're generally hooked. And the next thing you know, they've got their own car, their truck, and they're out on the track joining us. And a lot of it is community. It's like we're one big family out here.
One family that has gotten bit by the racing bug is the Crow family. Carson, Brody, and Tyson Crow are racing brothers that have grown up to love the adrenaline of the speed behind the wheel. They enjoy spending time together in the pit, working on their cars, and challenging each other on the track. Carson Crow, the youngest brother, explains how the family got into racing and how their season is shaping up.
We've been racing as a family ever since the year 2001. It started with my brother Tyson. He originally started with the mini stocks, and we've just grew from there as a family. I race in the hobby division. There's about 7 of us cars that are in that division alone. I race with my one brother Tyson. We're first and third in the points right now, Tyson being first and me being third. It's just been a really competitive year for us. Like, we've just been doing really awesome.
His older brother Brody Crow is also tearing up the track in the streets category. He explains what additions he made to his ride under the hood, as well as what it takes to be a Speedy Creek racer.
A 1985 Monte Carlo SS. It's got a 350 cubic inch motor. It's a 2-speed transmission. I went in green this year for North Star Hydrovac. They're my primary sponsor. We got HAD Hotshot on board this year, helping us all out, and they kind of all went in together and picked out the design for the car. It's basically a part-time job. You finish your regular job during the day, go home, work on the car for a bit, and when you know it's ready, it's just puts you in the right mindset to go race.
With only 5 races left this year, don't miss your chance to go out and experience the adrenaline of Speedy Creek Racing. For more information on race dates, visit their website. For Southwest TV News, I'm Scott Armstrong.
Well, this brings to a close another episode of Southwest TV News, reporting the stories that matter to you. We always welcome your news tips. You can always reach us here by phone at our studio or by email to contact us at southwesttvnews.com. Also, be sure to join us daily online for the latest news from across Southwest Saskatchewan and so much more at mylocaltv.ca. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. Thanks for joining us here today. I'm Carol Andrews.